Hey, Jim Schultz here with you guys for the Daily Shred. So let's talk about some weekly weight loss. So weight loss is never linear, right? Weight loss never does what you want it to do. Like that scale, it never cooperates exactly how you wish it would cooperate, right? Like we would all want to lose weight every single day. Like if I'm in a shred season, like if I'm in a fat loss phase, like I really want to lose weight every day. Like I almost expect to lose weight every day. But here's the reality. That never happens. That never happens for you. It never happens for me. It never happens for anyone else. And if you go into it with that as your expectation, man, you are setting yourself up to be on a warpath with some psychological battles, right? Like you are really going to make something that's already difficult, right? Losing weight and keeping, some of it off. Forget about all of it off. Forget about most of it off. But actually keeping some of it off for the rest of your life or for most of the rest of your life, it's already hard enough. Like you're already going to be inside of your head enough of the time and engaging in these mental battles, this mental grind that is every single fat loss phase, since the dawn of man. Like that's going to happen. And don't get me wrong, like you're going to go toe to toe with that scale. Like you guys are going to get into some scraps. Like you're going to win some and he's going to win some. You're not going to bat 1,000 and hopefully he won't bat 1,000 either. It's going to be kind of a give and a take type of situation. But if we can approach our weight loss strategically, like if we can approach our weight loss, in a thoughtful manner where we kind of think through, how and when and where we want to step into that ring, guys, I think it's going to make the whole process that much more effective. Okay, so now that we've got our minds kind of right, now that we're in the right frame of mind, our mindset is on point. How do we actually begin to, collect the data of, weekly weigh-ins and, monitoring weekly weight loss and all of that? Here's the first thing. I would not weigh infrequently, like once a week, right? I would not weigh infrequently because what you're doing is you are putting way too much stock in that one number. And as I said, to kick off the show today, like your weight on any given day, on any given Sunday, Willie Beeman style, like it can do anything, right? And it will do anything. So man, you can really, just be like, I did everything right this week. Why is, my weight up or why isn't my weight down, any more than I thought it would be? Whatever. I checked all the boxes. I dotted all the I's. I crossed all the T's. I dotted all the J's. I curlied all the Q's. It's like, man, I did everything. And yet my weight didn't go anywhere. Well, that might be simply because you're weighing too infrequently. So I would weigh more frequently. Now, how frequently do you have to weigh? I get it, man. If you don't want to live on the scale, right? If you don't consider the scale to be, like a long lost family member like I do, then maybe you don't want to weigh every single day. Like I totally got it. I totally understand. But at least weigh several times a week, right? At least maybe every other day or a few times a week, and do it at the same time of the day every time, right? The most obvious choice here is when you wake up first thing in the morning, right? As many variables as you possibly can are under control at that moment in time, right? Like food intake, water levels, glycogen storage, your waste products that might be in or out of your system. Like these things are more constant first thing in the morning. You start getting into your day, and then all of a sudden it's like, well, I had lunch or I didn't have lunch, or, or I did this or I didn't do that, or I drank a lot of water or I didn't drink a lot of water, or, now I'm not even weighing on, my bathroom scale. At my home, I'm weighing on the gym scale. In the locker room, that's one of those, slide the anvil type deals. And it's like, yeah, who knows what that number actually is? Who knows how much, meaning we should attach to that number? So you want to establish as much consistency as you possibly can. And so weighing frequently is one way that you can do that. And then secondly, I would do it first thing in the morning, same scale, same spot on the floor, same type of floor. And that's how I would begin to collect the data. So now that we have the data, what do we do? All right, so now that we have all this data, what do we do with it? Like, how do we actually apply, our weekly weight loss goals to all this data that we've collected? Well, there's a couple different ways that you could do this. There's one that I like, and a second one that is just as useful, but is not my preference for the reasons that I'll get into here in just a couple seconds. I personally like to get into a situation where I am aiming for a new weekly low every single week. So I'm looking to put in a new low every single week. I really like this for a couple of reasons. Number one, it takes a ton of pressure off of those daily weigh-ins. Like, I'm collecting the data, but I know that I've effectively got 7 chances to crack a new low for the week. And if I keep doing this, if you keep doing this, then you will hit your goal, right? You will run smack dab into the center of your goal if you keep putting in new lows and new lows. Now, you can't go all in on the low, hit it, and then go all out on the high, right? Like, some of you are thinking, I'm gonna gamify the situation, right? Like, I'm gonna go ahead and just kind of cheat the system a little bit here. Like, no, you're not, because if you hit a low and then you go all out, and put in a brand new high for that week too, you're hitting that CC's Great Wall Buffet superset. Like, yeah, that's going to catch up with you really soon. It might catch up with you the following day or the following week. Like, yeah, sure, you can do a little footloose. You could channel your inner Kevin Bacon on the scale, shift a little bit of weight. It's really only counting like one side, and, you put in a new low. But, in every sense of reality, when it comes to results, like, that's not going to work. And so it's very self-correcting, right? Like, it's a lot like Christianity in a way. Like, it kind of brings you back to what you need to focus on. It kind of brings you back to what really matters, and it keeps you on point. It keeps you, kind of on track, focusing on that new low every week. You know that you can't get too far away, off the reservation, because you'll never be able to make it back for the following week. And then all of a sudden you're off track, you're off schedule, you're missing weeks, you're missing too many weeks, right? It's very natural to miss a week or two because, we're not robots. We are actual people, humans with emotions. But if you do this too many times, then it just doesn't work. The other way that you could approach your weekly weight loss is you could look at it from a weekly average standpoint. I know a lot of, bodybuilding coaches, a lot of online coaches, a lot of athletes themselves like to do it this way. This is not my favorite approach, and I like the idea of having 7 chances at, cracking a new low, maybe focusing on the weekly average, which is something I collect too. I use it as another kind of secondary data point. Maybe that would actually do a better job of keeping me closer to the reservation than I've done in the past, to be frank with y'all. But it's not my favorite. I like the weekly low a little bit better than the weekly average, because there's no more exhilarating feeling. Well, maybe there's a couple more exhilarating feelings, but it's high up there on the list when you step on the scale and you hit a new low. Like, when you step on the scale and you're down 1.5 pounds, or you're down 2 pounds, or you're down 2.5 pounds from your previous low. Like, that's a very, very cool feeling, and it's a very satisfying feeling. Either way, it doesn't really matter which way you go, weekly low or weekly average. It doesn't matter. Here is the key. You're not putting pressure on yourself to lose weight every single day. You're not putting pressure on yourself every single day to go wire to wire and, lose 30 pounds by losing 1/4 pound every day for 120 days. Like, that doesn't happen, not for anyone, not anywhere. It's not realistic. It's not even healthy to expect your body to be able to do that if you want to do this in a sustainable way. And so instead, you take that pressure off. Instead, you kind of view, the big picture, and you understand, like, all right, I've got this week. My objective this week is to put in a new low. My objective this week is to lower my weekly average from the previous week, or whatever. Because, guys, here's the most important part, and we'll wrap it up with this. If you're hitting your macros, like, if you're actually executing on the protocols that you have established for yourself, and those protocols have you in a deficit, right? Those protocols have you in a caloric deficit where you are short on your fuel sources, your carbs and your fats intentionally, strategically, you're going to get there. Like, you're going to hit whatever physique you want. It's not going to be easy, right? You're not just going to show up one day and just wake up on third base and say, oh, I made it. Like, no, it's not going to be any of those things. But if you actually stay the course, then the weekly weigh-ins, the daily weigh-ins, the weekly averages, the weekly lows, all that stuff, it's all going to take care of itself. And so when it comes to weekly weight loss, one of the biggest changes for me was to not put as much stock into the daily numbers as I used to early on in my career, and instead just kind of step back, just kind of, open up my gaze a little bit, kind of bring in some of the peripheral vision a little bit and say, all right, man, what am I really trying to accomplish here? I'm not trying to lose weight tomorrow. That's just a bridge, right? That's just a means to an end. I'm trying to lose, 35 pounds to get on stage, or I'm looking to lose 20 pounds to change my life, or I'm looking to, lose 55 pounds to, radically transform my physique is what I was going for there. Whatever the case may be, right? You just need to keep in mind that these things are going to take care of themselves if you just keep executing the protocol. So, I don't know, guys. That's all I have for you today. That's a little something about weekly weight loss. I hope that is helpful for you guys. I hope that you guys can apply that to your own strategies and your own protocols and get you thinking a little bit more strategically about your weight loss endeavors. And yeah, if you guys want to hit me with a like on your way out, that'd be amazing. If you wanted to share this video with a friend, that would be doubly amazing. And if you want to subscribe to the channel, that would be triply amazing. And so that's it, guys. I will see you guys next time.